Self, we're good to go.
All right,
Sorry
guys.
for the delay.
You guys want to
We
start
are,
again?
All right, let's just start it. Well, not from. We'll just start from SummerSlam. How about that?
yeah, we'll
All
start
right,
from
sounds good.
SummerSlam.
Sorry,
All right.
guys.
So my overall opinion on the show, once again, was it was very it was a letdown show. I think 4 hours was just too long for this pay per view. I think the only pay per view that should be 4 hours long should be WrestleMania. I think this should have been a 3 hour show, and you still keep the 2 hour preview, pre-show, and then just put more matches and I think into that maybe three or four. Maybe you could have four 30-minute matches or even four 20 minutes plus the build up to everything. I think the match placements were out of place. I think putting the U.S. title before the main event was a horrible decision because I mean it downgrades the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Dean and Ziggler. I think if any match should have been in between, the two championships should have been AJ and Cena, and I'm sure Anthony can agree they stole the show. I didn't like the way SummerSlam ended personally for myself. And the six women's tag should not have been after the women's championship. I think that was a horrible decision. But yeah, overall, I would give it a C plus. Anthony.
SummerSlam to me, man. I watched back our of episode 18 of OT3, which you can watch on Facebook or on YouTube. Little plug there for ourselves. And I just listened to like how excited the both of us were to see all these matches, especially Orton and Lesnar, and how like this card had. We were saying at one point better than WrestleMania, the card on paper, and could have been better than WrestleMania. And WrestleMania wasn't all that great either, if you remember, from this past year. So after watching it, I was highly, highly disappointed. C plus. I guess it's. I don't even know if I'd give it that. To me, Takeover again. I know we're going to talk about that as well a little bit. Takeover again was better than the main show. They did better showcasing all of the talent. They did better with the matches. They did better with everything. The highlight of SummerSlam was AJ Styles versus John Cena. And that match was on within the first, I think it was hour and a half of the pay-per-view.
I think it was the third match, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say it was the third match. It was by the first hour and a half, I think the match was done. And that match was awesome. And once that match happened, I don't know if I texted you, I was talking to someone. I said I feel like the win that was in the sales of SummerSlam got taken right out because no match was coming near it. Jericho and Team Jericho or Jericho against Enzo and Cass was a great way to start. You got, everyone was like, all right, let's get excited. Then they go to the women's championship match as a second match. And then the third match, you get AJ and John Cena. And arguably, those three matches were the best matches on the card.
Wow, so it wasn't.
After that,
It sounds like it wasn't really a big hit at all.
like the matches themselves, who were in the matches, should have made the show that much better.
Okay.
But the way they placed them, like Matt said, I get what they're doing. They don't want to put the big match after big match. They want to space them out. But when you put the WWE World Title match on before count other matches, not to mention the six women's tag match, like Matt said, I understand Nikki Bella was returning, which was great, was on after the women's title match, which is the only women's title in the company right now. That was the second match of the night. I just think there was a lot of stuff that went, and then Rusev and Roman Reigns, that's for the United States title.
Don't even get me started on that. That was
And then the match never happens.
That was a debacle.
The match never happens. And then the match after that, we see a match, the 15 years in the making, the one that I was so excited to see. I see another garbage Brock Lesnar match.
Thank you.
Garbage.
Do you mind if I go ahead?
Randy Orton around, suplexing him all over the place. Orton hits 2 RKOs on him and a DDT. And then the ending, he hits him over the head with 2 elbows, which were legit hits, and cuts him open the hard way. And he needs 10 staples. You're putting a guy that you name the Legend Killer, the Apex Predator, the Viper, and he gets tossed around like that? What was the purpose of touting this for 15 years in the making?
Hold on. Can I break some news real quick?
Yes.
We got a breaking news for Raw tonight. We'll preview this. The Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title is now an elimination match. So that's some breaking news live on air right now. They have changed the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title to an elimination match. So we'll preview that later, but there's some little breaking news as we are on air right now.
Wow.
Wow, that is definitely adds intrigue to that match even more so than it already was. But back to Lesnar and Orton, Matt, you can tell the minute they announced that match in July, I said, you know what, I'm stoked about this match. I can't wait to see it.
Who was the one who was scared mostly through all this? I wanted
You,
Orton to win, but who was scared the most about this match?
you, and
Because
I was like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. You
I
know,
am
it'll be a good match,
sick.
the two of them.
Okay, do you mind if I put in my thing about Lesnar?
Yes.
He doesn't belong in this company anymore. He needs to just go. I'm sorry. Yes, he bring in draws maybe 3 times a year, but I am sick and tired of watching these damn matches where he just suplexes someone 10, 15 times a match. They hit 3 moves, and then he hits an F5 and it's over. I'm sick of it. I don't want to see it. The fact that he took an RKO on the table, he took the DDT, he took another RKO, and then what he did to Orton, I don't care if it was planned or not. That cut was not planned. Orton may have been smiling up the ramp. He may have been trying to go along with it. But sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. But for someone like Chris Jericho to go around back asking if this was the finish, was this the finish? You have people like Michael Hayes, like not even acknowledging him. And Jericho's the type of guy in the company where apparently everyone tells him everything. Vince will go up and be like, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. Jericho was just completely living in. For Jericho to confront Brock Lesnar the way he did, Brock Lesnar, let's face it, in a real fight would completely kill Chris Jericho probably. It would murder him. But Jericho stood up to Lesnar after Lesnar, said some things to him, and Jericho got the respect of the locker room. That was a horrible ending to a pay-per-view. It was completely horrible. I don't want to see, and the fact that Lesnar kept going on Orton. You see Orton in the middle of the ring, blood is pouring out of his head. And Paul, like we mentioned on, Stripe Sports Talk last week, that wasn't a blade cut or anything. That was a legit. I mean, Paul, you saw the pictures, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was a
that
legit.
nasty.
It was Paul. While we're talking, if you could, real quick, you think you could do what you did with Stripe Sports Talk and just put the picture of his cut on screen, real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, Paul's gonna get that. But for him to keep going back, what is he went back like 3 or 4 more times? Paul Heyman should have been like, hey, you know what, Lesnar, you need to stop. Shane should have did his thing earlier. Shane should have saw that and been like, look, let me come out for my thing earlier. Whoever was in the back, managing when Shane came out, screwed up big time. Lesnar doesn't belong in this company anymore. He's reckless. He just got out of a UFC fight 2 months ago. What do you think was going through his mind? He still had that UFC mentality, and I just don't think he belongs in the company. His matches are boring. He just, like I said, he suplexes people 10 times a match, hits his finisher. That's it. There's no one in this company right now that can go over Lesnar, because all they do is make him seem like the machine. There's honestly no one on this roster that you could see put over someone like that. No one matches up to him physicality. Look when he faced the Big Show at Madison Square Garden. He threw him around. So if you throw the Big Show around, who else do you have in that company that can do anything? There's no one else. Either you bring someone from the outside that hasn't been there in a while that can match him, maybe strength for strength. We mentioned Goldberg. But there's another name that no one's mentioned. Who else can do suplexes? It's probably just as good as Lesnar that can match him suplex for suplex. He may not be as big as Lesnar, but Anthony, I know you got to think. I know you're thinking.
That's not in the company?
That's not in the company. That's been
Kurt Angle.
There you go. You're going to have to bring back someone like that can come in and be like, look, I've beaten you once before. I can do it again. That's what you're going to need, because there's no one in the company right now that can challenge anything like that. And if you're seeing the screen, Paul's trying to put up the picture of what Orton looked like. But Anthony, what was your opinion on the ending of that match?
Like I said, man.
There it is right there. Look at that. That's nasty. There was no reason for those kind of elbows for that to happen like that. Anthony, what are your thoughts on the ending and the way that Lesnar kept going back?
Here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say. I don't have a huge issue with Lesnar. If that was part of it, I don't have a huge issue with Lesnar going back because it continues to add to that heel persona. My biggest issue, like I said, was the way they made that match one-sided. You got to remember, this is Randy Orton's return to pay-per-view in over 9 months. So his return back, he just gets a beating tossed to him. It's not like he was putting in the offense there for a little bit. Off the beginning of the match. You know what I mean? Off the beginning of the match, Orton's throwing punches at him, and Lesnar's in the corner, just keeps shoulder blocking him into the ring. Keeps shoulder blocking him into the ring. Keeps shoulder blocking him in. And he's no-selling anything Orton does. I don't want this to come off like, I'm just crapping on Brock Lesnar. But This was the match where you could have had Orton win and have Lesnar, even if it was like Lesnar was still beating him up, suplexing him, and then Orton caught him with an RKO out of nowhere, and he gets the pin. Something. But you have it end like this? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the booking. I don't understand what the plan is. What benefit does it do to Goldberg or Kurt Angle, like the two you've mentioned, awesome wrestlers, probably future Hall of Famers, not probably for Kurt Angle, definite Hall of Famer, and Goldberg more than likely, now that he's fixing things with WWE. What benefit does it do for the two of them to beat Brock Lesnar? It does none. It does none. Randy Orton, it benefits because he's there. He's going to be, one of these top guys on SmackDown since their roster pool is kind of short. What kind of message does that send if in the first cross-promotional match, SmackDown wins, and on top of that, they beat Brock Lesnar, who's been near unstoppable since he's returned? That was my biggest issue. I don't have a problem with the way they booked Lesnar. I had a problem with the way they booked this match. You want to book Lesnar to be an unstoppable beast, I get it. To do it at the expense the way they did it, it looked bad. Yeah, it looked like, Orton still wanted to keep fighting even though he was bleeding, but they weren't even letting him try to get up. If they would have let Orton get up at least once and then make it look like, this is what it's about. Orton's still trying. They didn't do that. They kind of just kept, getting on top, which they should, because the cut was you could see it was a severely, as Paul just showed in the picture, the cut was seriously, right over the top of his head. It was not like a little, bump like they used to do when they would blade or something like that. You could see a split right in the, the forehead. So I get why they're doing it. And, it sounds like sour grapes, but this is a match I really wanted to see. And now they're saying that the rematch is going to take place on a live event the night before Clash of Champions, and we're not going to get to see that. And I bet you, like you said, Orton's going to go over. So they're going to let Orton win the live event, and we're not going to see it. And it's probably going to be a better match than SummerSlam.
Here's my problem with this. With Lesnar keep on winning over these full-timers. There was another guy in this company that, been there for a long time who is getting dumped on by these part-timers. CM Punk lost his title to a part-timer, The Rock. Lost at SummerSlam to Brock Lesnar. And, he was pissed off about it. And I completely understand. I'm with him on that. Why are part-timers going over on full-timers, people who will be there on Monday? Like CM Punk said when this happened, who's going to be there for you Monday night? Not Brock Lesnar. I'm going to be there. Randy Orton. Where was Brock Lesnar Monday night after doing that beatdown? Where was he there? Did I miss
Nowhere
him?
to be found.
You know where he was at? On his ass back to freaking Minneapolis. Where was Orton on SmackDown after those staples? He was on SmackDown. Now the feud he's about to get into is going to be amazing, and probably their match will probably be 100 times better than his match with Lesnar. But all right, let's go off of that. Let's go back to the rest of SummerSlam.
Yeah, let's just leave it at this so that people that are watching don't think that we're just bashing Lesnar. Don't have a huge issue with Brock Lesnar as a whole. I had a huge issue with the way they booked it. They tout, you know what I mean? After all the video packages you saw, 15 years, they showed him and then you just have this match be the main event after that match not even match, that train wreck you saw of Roman Reigns and Rusev before that. That's how you close, the biggest pay-per-view of the summer and the second biggest pay-per-view that they have all year.
Those were back-to-back matches.
That's what I'm
how
saying. That's
it.
my biggest issue. You know what I mean? That's just the way I'm going to leave it. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, we'll talk about that match. Wasn't a bad match. It could have been better, I thought.
All right, but you know what? Let's segue over to the match before that, the debacle of the Roman Reigns-Rusev match, which we both agree on a little bit that Roman needs to have this badass persona that he has every 3-4 months. He seems to have this persona that comes out. He needs to have that badass Roman where he just kicks the shit out of anyone all the time. It can't just show up once every 3 months. I guarantee he'll go over more with the fans if he does beatdowns like this over and over and over again. But he only does it once every, like I said, 4 months is when he decides he wants to just go ape crap on someone. He needs to do this all the time. Rusev, thank God for him because he can sell anything in this company. Rusev is so underrated. I felt bad that they took him out of the world title picture, with him saying he's still hurt or whatnot. I think that's going to culminate to him doing something with Roman tonight in the elimination match. We'll see, where that goes. But just to see Roman just throw him around for 10 minutes, I'm testing you like, are you serious? So, what were your thoughts on that? It was pointless. They should have did that at the beginning of the show if you're going to do something like that.
That should have happened sooner. I don't have a problem with Roman. Like you said, I like that badass they do. I feel like every night on Raw, and like he should come out, grab a microphone, and then when he's about to talk, just drop it and start beating up whoever's in the ring with him. That's the way to get this guy over quicker. Don't let him do these promos. Let him keep getting up there, because if he does far and few between promos, it's going to make him look better, because they're going to see all the work he's been doing on him, and he's going to look stronger in the promos. It's going to just look better. But instead, they continue to try and make him this top good guy that no one wants to see. This angle with Rusev and him will be good. Just continue to play off of it. Continue to drive it forward. But now it looks like there's a chance tonight. We're going to talk about this in the Universal title match. He's in the Fatal 4-Way tonight. There's a chance he might walk out champion. 25% shot. So are they just going to drop this storyline when I'm actually, to be honest, I was kind of enjoying it. I didn't enjoy the match at SummerSlam, or whatever it was you want to call it. But what are they going to do? Hopefully they don't drop it all together, because I like to see Roman continue this badass Samoan gimmick.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Finn Balor match. I'll start with that. I think it was one of the better matches of the night. Here's my thing with the match. Let's go with the buckle bomb, or the barrier bomb, I guess we'll call it. Is it dangerous? Yes.
The buckle bomb sounds awesome. Whatever that is that a real thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's when he throws him into the turnbuckle.
He throws him the turnbuckle. This one for Finn. For the one for, with Sting, you can say Sting was old. They probably shouldn't have done it the way they did it. With Finn Balor, you can say it was all angle. Maybe Finn Balor hurt himself when he threw his arm out. You don't know what caused it. But we're almost getting to the point to where maybe this move probably isn't the best of things, because I feel like this is a move that you really have to get perfect. Like, you can't, because if you miss it by an inch or anything like that, the other wrestler is liable to get hurt, like which we saw with Sting and Finn. But kudos to Finn for putting his arm back in place. He dislocated his arm, Paul, and shoulder during the move. Mm-hmm. Put it back in place. Put on a great match. The moves that he did, even with that arm, were incredible. He ended up winning the title. Overall, I think it was a good decision to have Finn win. Unfortunately,
so he dislocated his shoulder
and then popped it back in place. He pulled his arm back in place.
He did it himself?
Yeah. He pulled on his wrist and popped it. So, obviously, Finn had to relinquish the belt because he tore his labrum. I think it was a rotator cuff. It was
labrum, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The whole bunch. It was worse than what they thought. So, he's out for, they're saying he could even now. They're saying he could miss WrestleMania now. So, but it was a great match. I think it was great to see Finn get put over. But what are your thoughts on the match and on the buckle bomb?
I've gone back and forth on that buckle bomb. I've watched it performed countless and countless times, and if you watch, there's a way. Now the move itself is dangerous, I agree, but the person that's taking it has to put full responsibility and faith into Seth when he does it. You have to keep your arms tucked. If you watch, they put a picture up of when Finn was up. He was up in the air with his arm out like this already, which is what ultimately what caused the shoulder issues. And when Dean Ambrose was up, Dean Ambrose literally just had his hands over Seth Rollins and just let him run with them and throw him. So, with that being said, you can't have Seth Rollins continuing to do this move if the guys aren't going to be able to put the faith in him, because yes, it could become a severe issue, as you saw with Sting. He's had that issue now where he'll never wrestle again because of the neck issues he had from that match they had at Night of Champions where he took the turnbuckle bomb. And then now Finn Balor has the shoulder issue. So I think it's going to become something where they talk about it more and they probably move from it being, used in matches. And I think that's something that's going to be addressed relatively soon. I don't know about as soon as tonight. I think it might get used tonight in the main event for the Universal title. But I definitely think that there's a chance that move does get outlawed eventually because of the possibility risk that it has.
Damn,
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we both agree on it a little bit. All right, let's move to the other title match, the Dean Ambrose Ziggler match. And I have to be honest with you, I was a little out of it during this match. It didn't live up to the expectation I had for it. And to be honest, like I said, I was out of it. Like, I wasn't really into it.
No.
It almost seemed like a bathroom break match to me.
They could have. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard for me to talk about any of these matches individually because a lot of them, it wasn't even that they were bad. It's just they weren't. They didn't live up to what they weren't even living up to half of what they were. The placement of the card, I really think, ruined it. AJ and Cena should never have been third on that card because you knew that match was going to be something special. You'd already seen the match before, and it was an instant classic, the first one. So you knew this match was going to be another great one. So why you put that third, knowing how good their chemistry already is bizarre to me. So I almost feel like they set themselves up there with those matches, you know? That's just me. Sasha and Charlotte, again, another great match, was second on the card. I feel like they should have changed the placement. You know, we didn't even talk about the New Day and Anderson and Gallows match. That match, too, was a disappointment. Jon Stewart, man, come on.
Second year in a row, he's ruined a SummerSlam moment.
Like, and then you knew Big E was coming back. I knew that from the beginning, but then Big E gets him, you know, does a disqualification to cause the New Day, you know, and there's no talk of that, really. I saw Gallows and Anderson on Raw. They were attacking the Dudleys on their retirement this past Monday.
Yeah, I guess to get more heel out for them, but
Yeah,
even though the
I
Dudleys
don't know.
were heel, I mean, the whole pay-per-view was a letdown. Cena and AJ will probably end up being a match of the year candidate.
Oh, yeah.
For
That
anyone
match,
who,
I cannot say enough praise for that match. If
you
you
know,
did not see it and you haven't watched wrestling in a while, go watch that match. That's worth all $9.99 that you'll pay for the month. That match alone. That match was an instant classic.
also, everyone whoever puts on John Cena can't wrestle, John Cena this, John Cena that. Let me tell you something. 2 years in a row now, he's put over younger talent at SummerSlam. Not to mention he's put over Kevin Owens. For all these people that say that he buries people, go look at what he did for Kevin Owens. Go look at what he did for Seth Rollins. He could have easily won both those titles against Seth Rollins, what people thought he was going to do. But he's been putting over younger talent for the past, I think couple of years now, and he's starting to pass the torch off. I think as you can see it. And I mean, the guy can wrestle. I mean, look what he's done with his matches with Owens were incredible. His matches with Seth were incredible, and now with AJ have just been off the chain. So I mean, you can't say more for John Cena what he's been doing with the talent.
Oh, I like that, Vinny. Thank you for the comments there. I 100% agree with you on that. They didn't talk about it, as much because the Seth and the John's nose thing was more of a accidental thing. But I definitely think that going forward, that I hope they don't take that move like they took the curb stomp. I really don't, but we'll see. Sorry to get off of that. I want to make sure we acknowledge our comments there too that we're getting. But I agree with you. I don't care what anyone says. Now, I don't want people to come, oh, you're a John Cena fan. I respect what John Cena does in the ring.
You can
can't
ask
sit there.
Anthony. John Cena. I'm not really big on him in terms of past things or whatnot. How he was thrown down our throat a little bit, but I've given him his props the past couple of years for what he's done to younger talent. All these matches with AJ, he could easily have just been like, you know what, I'm not going to lose to a new guy. What did he do? He lost 2 out of 3 matches to a new guy, and this past one was clean, which was even better.
Yep. Here's the thing. Time and time again, this guy puts 5-star matches. Don't say it's the other guy in the match. I don't want to hear that. It's not the other guy in the match every time. He's had 5-star matches with Seth Rollins. He's had 5-star matches with Kevin Owens. He's had 5-star matches with AJ Styles. I mean, he's had countless matches where they've been CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. He's had matches of the year candidates, Shawn Michaels. I mean, now I'm going back to, the early mid 2000s now.
Have we seen a Cena Roman match yet?
No,
I don't think so. Have we?
No, we have not.
Too bad they're on different shows. Sorry, keep going. You were saying all these people.
No, I'm just naming names, and there's countless other people. Edge, I could name all day. Triple H, but I'm saying you've seen in the last year or two these matches, and these are the matches you're seeing. You're seeing 5-star quality, match after match. Match of the year candidates, and people are still saying, oh, well, John's not that good. I don't want to hear that. John Cena is that good. There's a reason why he's been the face of the company for this long. Doesn't mean that I like him, but I respect what he's done for the WWE and what he can do inside the ring. And I'll leave it at that.
Totally.
And he showed you again at SummerSlam.
All right, so that was pretty much. I think we can just say that was our SummerSlam review. I mean, like we said, there wasn't really much big things to talk about. Charlotte, re-won the women's title from Sasha. Sasha, I think had some injuries going in the match. But actually, real quick, I want to touch on that match. That match was sloppy.
Yeah,
That, that,
there
that
were
this,
some spots in there.
and did you see the heat that Charlotte got in the back because they're saying she risked more injury on Sasha.
Yeah, they're
So
saying that both of them did. They had some issues there because they fought of more of a like a stiff style and they didn't like it.
well, I think Charlotte's reign again is going to be numbered with the way they're going to. Seems like they're going to push Bailey right now.
We'll see. I don't know. I
So I
don't want
think
everyone to think too. It just SummerSlam overall. It just left, like I said,
disappointing.
it left a bad taste in my
The
mouth.
past couple pay-per-views just has just been they've been letdowns, and it's really disappointing. From WrestleMania to here, it's just been letdown after letdown. And I think the last one that I really liked was when the Shield all had the title on one night. That was an awesome night. But it's just past couple nights, it's just been it's like what's going on? Past couple of years, what are you doing, guys? You have the talent, you have the people. Just make it happen. Give us matches we want to see.
Yeah, no,
That,
I agree.
but
Uh, I really, I don't know, man. I hate to just to leave it on that sour note, but John Cena, AJ Styles, again, seventh time I might have mentioned it. Two thumbs up. Rest of the card,
all right. What I want to do right now, if it's okay with you, is I want to segue into Raw tonight, and then talk a little bit about SmackDown last week, the new feuds, and then maybe next week's show we can do another full review of Brooklyn. That way we're not rushing Brooklyn and trying to do Raw.
yeah, we will talk about NXT Takeover next week, and I think next week Matt's actually still catching up. I know I am too. We're gonna probably talk a little more about the
Cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight Classic because they're going into the third round now.
Yep.
So we're down, I think, to the final eight. I think we're up to. So
All right, let's go. Let's talk about the match tonight. Let's talk about the Fatal Four Way elimination match as we announced earlier. You have Big Cass, Roman, Rollins, Kevin Owens. All people we want to see champions. Maybe most people don't want to see Roman and Cass right now, but definitely Rollins and KO. What are your actually? You know what? Give us your prediction. What do you think about the match? What do you think about the participants, and maybe the order of you see people go out?
I know we see Vinny commented here already with his Vin is one being that Seth is the winner, or one's being Seth's the first one eliminated. Just want to know for our reference here. And while you do that, I will talk a little bit about my idea for tonight. Originally, I thought that it was going to be Roman that took the pin. I know because I thought Rusev was going to get involved somehow and cost him to continue their feud. Now that it's elimination, I think the Big Cat's going to get eliminated first, and I really don't want that to happen because I think this is a big moment for him. No pun intended, Big Cat's big moment, but to me it doesn't really. You know what I mean? It doesn't. He feels like he's the most out of place there. Not that he doesn't deserve to be in the main event picture here, someday soon. I think right now, he's the one that is going to be pushed to the back burner in this match, and I really think it's going to come down to Seth and Roman. And I had Kevin Owens winning this match originally, but now that they're making it elimination style, I feel like they're going to continue to build for the Seth and Roman feud. And I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't know, Matt. I'll let you go first because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this elimination style.
Um, I think it's great that they did it this way instead. To be honest, I like the way what Kevin Owens has been doing on Twitter, attacking everyone. So, there's no chance that you could see the two heels, team up or whatnot. I think this is going to be all for themselves. I personally do believe that Roman will be eliminated first because I think Rusev's going to come out and do something. And I think it heightens up a little bit to where if Roman's eliminated first, and let's say you have Cass, Owens, and Rollins left, in the back of your mind, you're like, wow, could Cass do this? Can Cass actually, he's in the final three now. Roman's gone. Can Big Cass do this? But then I think you're going to see Cass eliminated second. I think he's going to have some good highlights in the match, whatnot. And I personally do believe Owens wins this match. The reason being is, Rollins, the big, he's climbed back to the top after his injury and whatnot. Owens, another guy from NXT, was an NXT champion, just as Rollins and Finn Balor was. And the rumor feud after the Rollins-Balor match at SummerSlam was supposed to be Owens and Finn Balor. So what better way to continue what you were going to do with that feud than just go ahead and give the title to Owens? I really do believe Owens is going to win this title, and this new era is going to keep right on rolling with a new guy. Anthony?
Yeah, sorry. My I'm gonna now that you've kind of got I got my got my thoughts in process here and listening to you. I from the beginning thought this was his match right away. This was his match to win, Kevin Owens. I really thought that they were going to put the title on him. That's what I wanted to go with. Hearing you made me solidify that I'm going to stick with my original answer, even though I had him just winning. Now that's elimination style. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens becoming the next Universal Champion. I know it's not going to be, common that people are going to say the same thing because of it being an elimination style match. I do have Roman getting eliminated first because of Rusev, like you said. Now, the next elimination is where I get a little iffy. Because, like I said, I feel like if they go based off of who's in this picture usually, Big Cass should have been the first one eliminated. But I feel like they might make it down to Owens and Cass. You know? I'm going to stick with that it's going to come down to Owens and Rollins. The architect versus the prize fighter. And I think that Owens is going to win. And I think Owens and Rollins will continue a feud at Clash of Champions. And that'll be something that we'll continue to see. And I think they're going to have Rollins continue to be in the hunt for the title. That's why I think at first, I wanted to go with Rollins and Roman being the final two because they've basically made it to where Rollins is always in the title picture these last few months, and they want to continue him to be in the title picture. So I think Roman's not ready yet. Now, is there a chance that Vince McMahon does it and he goes, you know what, Finn's hurt. I want Roman to be this top guy. Let's put the title back on Roman. Of course, there's always a shot. But do I want to see another Roman title reign where it lasts for 2 months and he loses it? No, I don't. I don't want to see that. So I'm sticking. I'm going to go with Roman gets eliminated first, Big Cass second, down to Seth and Owens. Owens wins with the pop-up power bomb and wins his first major title in the WWE.
I can't wait for Raw tonight. I can't wait to watch that match. I hope it's probably gonna be better than the main event that we saw at SummerSlam after we're talking. But let's listen. I want to talk about another thing that happened this past week. Let's talk about the Miz promo on Smack Talk Live with Daniel Bryan. That was
Yes.
probably the greatest promo I've seen in a while. Probably the best promo I've seen since the CM Punk pipe bomb that happened. I don't know if Miz went off script a little bit. I believe he did. And to be honest with you, I don't think Daniel Bryan was supposed to walk off that set. I think Daniel Bryan walked off because he didn't know what the Miz was. I really feel they told the Miz, "Hey, look, say something like this," and I think the Miz, went his own ways. And I personally believe Bryan legitimately walked off that set. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it was part of the plan. I was reading a report that says they want the lines to be blurred between reality and storyline. But you know what? The Miz, I loved every second of it. I've said time. Everyone's like, "Oh, the Miz shouldn't be the champion. I don't like him." The Miz has a lot to offer in a heel persona when he's used correctly. He's not meant to be the heel like when Randy Orton's a top heel or Kevin Owens or a Rollins where their wrestling does the backing up of what they do. He's meant to do the smack talk and use those little, cheap ways to keep the title or have Maurice pop up on the apron to distract someone. That's what Miz is about. That's always been his character. And you have to know that going into it. You can't expect that this guy's going to be the guy to, go out there and have 5-star matches. That's not the Miz. That's never been the Miz. The Miz is a good worker, and he does quality stuff. And on the mic, I think he's one of the best. I think heel-wise right now, he's one of the best, and he showed that because on SmackDown, Talking Smack, him and Daniel Bryan had that back and forth, and I think Daniel Bryan wanted to sell it as much as possible and walked off, but I also think Daniel Bryan didn't know what to say. I don't think Daniel Bryan had a rebuttal because what he
could he
said
rebuttal on that?
really hit home, I bet you, because at one point when Daniel Bryan didn't want to retire and the WWE wouldn't clear him, he had talked about going back to the Indies and continuing to wrestle. And that's why when The Miz said, you know what, if you were really a true fan and you didn't lie to these people, you'd go back and continue to wrestle for him. And I think that's why Daniel Bryan was like, what do I say? Because I did say that, and I think that's kind of why he was like, you know what, I don't even know what to say in return. But I think it was great. It was one of the best things that I've seen, recently promo work on either show, and probably the best Miz's promo to date. The only promo I like better for the Miz wasn't one that he actually was like a live promo. It was the one that they used at WrestleMania when he faced John Cena in the main event. The one that they played before, and they used Nas "You Can Hate Me Now" song beforehand.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it was a great promo. I can't wait. I mean, what did he call the Indies? What did he call them again? Um,
bingo halls.
Bingo halls. I mean, it was great. I mean, he was taking full shots at Daniel Bryan, and Daniel, like we said, I mean, you could see Renee. Now, if they really wanted to sell it, they should have been like, Renee Young should have stepped in more and been like, hey, we need to cut this or whatnot. Then the Miz could have done some more stuff. But I mean, I give him props for what he did.
I don't have any issue with it. Sorry, I have fans writing me as we speak, and I want to thank Christina and Sabrina for watching us right now, and thank you for sending that Snapchat of watching OT3 as we speak right now, as well as Vinny, who's been commenting with us along the way.
Yeah, thank you, Vinny. You're probably our number one fan.
We'll hear some arguments from people about who our number one fan is, but
I
Vin,
see Vinny the most in the chat, so I'm going
yeah,
off of what I see right now.
Vinny knows, right, Vin?
So
Right here, Matt. Vinny knows.
all right. So before we head out, let's talk about the next feud for Randy Orton. Let's talk about the Bray Wyatt. Just promo real quick before we head out. The whole "I am God" thing, and he disappeared. What did you think about that? Do you think this is a great feud for Bray and Randy? I mean, I think it's something new, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of the feuds that we were going to see before Orton got hurt, so I'm glad they didn't just drop it outright, and not even bring it back up. But I still wanted Bray Wyatt to be the world champion by now. So you're always going to hear that argument from me. But if you're not going to put him for the world title, put him in feuds with former world champions. And what better feud to put him in than a former 12-time world champion? But now my biggest issue is Bray Wyatt hasn't had a pay-per-view match in a while, and he hasn't had a big pay-per-view match in an even longer while.
When the hell has Bray Wyatt been on a pay-per-view?
That's what I'm saying. But WrestleMania and SummerSlam missed both. He showed up on WrestleMania to go out there with The Rock, and Rowan got beat in 6 seconds. And then John Cena came out, and John Cena and The Rock stood tall. So what does this do? This is why I come back to Brock Lesnar should not have dominated Randy Orton like that. Because now how do you have Randy Orton lose 2 matches in a row at pay-per-view in his return? But how do you let Bray Wyatt lose another big match? I feel like this is a lose-lose in whoever wins the match booking, but it's a great feud. So it's a very hard thing for me to see because I think that both men need this victory. Obviously, everyone's going to argue, well, Randy Orton doesn't need it as much because he's at the, he's not here anymore to be one of the young guys. He's probably there to make sure that these young guys are getting put over. And, he might still win a world title here or there, but he's not, one of the young guys of this new era. But I don't like the chances either way, man. I really don't. It's a tough shot. You know what I mean? But what about you? What do you think?
I think the promos are going to be great. I think the match is going to be great. But like you said, how does Randy Orton go over on this, after getting beat down? But then how does Bray, how does Bray, you got to put him over, make him feel like a contender or whatnot. So it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. By the way, speaking of Eric Rowan, did you see the clip at the beginning of SmackDown last week where you had the AJ and Ziggler?
I missed that. I saw some of it, but I missed
Eric
most
Rowan
of it.
chatting with Byron Corbin with his mask on. What could those two even be talking about? Why would you? There's no reason to show Eric Rowan interacting with other superstars like that, especially with his mask on. Because what could they possibly be talking about?
Dude,
because you have a sheep and you have a wolf. That makes no sense.
With Eric Rowan, I don't even try and make sense of it anymore because I don't even think they know what they're doing.
We're all waiting for Luke Harper to come back, I think, to see what goes on with that.
Yeah. I hope he shows up on SmackDown because he's another guy I think that was underutilized and could benefit from the 2 world titles.
Yep.
So I'd like to see him maybe get, pushed up there eventually, sooner rather than later. Maybe not once he returns, but a little bit down the road. So one other thing that we didn't really talk about that was announced on SmackDown, which will happen at Backlash, which will be Sunday the 11th, is they haven't announced what it's called yet, but the SmackDown Women's title. Bo Gisto, there he is. Welcome, Bo Gisto. The SmackDown Women's title and then the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Now, before we go, I wanted to talk about that. I don't know if you saw, but they announced that on SmackDown on Tuesday, as you saw, Rhino and Slater said they are going to be a tag team, and there wasn't an 8 team, but now they're saying that the Headbangers from the 90s are going to return.
This is ridiculous.
To face Heath Slater and Rhino.
You know what the sad part is? Slater, the Headbangers are going to win that match. And it's going to
Oh,
drive
come
me,
on.
that drives me insane.
You don't think Slater and Rhino might win?
No, because Slater's going to lose and lose his contract.
No, because Slater has to win the whole tournament
That's why
to
I
get a
think
contract.
to be
He's
honest
going to
with
win
you,
that match
I could see Slater going all the way to the finals with Rhino and losing in the finals.
against the American Alpha.
Yes, because there's rumors now that the Usos could be turning heel, which would be very interesting to see that. I want to see how they're going to do
My
that.
prediction is the Usos and the American Alpha for the finals, and the Usos. You know what I mean? The Usos turn heel in that match. That's what my prediction. I would love to see Heath Slater and Rhino at Backlash against the American
Hey,
Alpha.
the last time there was a tag team tournament, Rhino made the finals. If you remember Byron Corbin,
That's fair.
he made the finals before.
That's right.
They
That's,
should have been. They should have made a tag team. That would have been awesome to see again.
Yeah, but again, that's
If they lose to the Headbangers, there's no hope for Heath Slater at all. There's no hope.
Wait, did you say both of those tag teams? Are they both from back in the day, or is it just
no,
that
just
one?
the Headbangers.
Well, you could say Rhino was, I guess.
Rhino used to be from back in the day, but not Heath Slater. Heath Slater's one of the newer guys.
Now, real quick, before we go, who do you have winning the tag team title thing? I got Alpha.
I got the Usos.
Okay.
If they turn heel, especially, I think the Usos will do it, and it'll continue to help build American Alpha because then they'll have a credible top team that's a heel, you know? Because right now, Ascension and Breezango really aren't someone that can help them become credible.
Okay.
Not to knock either of them.
Who wins the women's tournament?
Another one I've gone back and forth on. Do you give it to someone new that needs it, or do you put it? My thing is Nikki Bella wins it.
That's who I have too.
Yep, and
It
then
should be
she'll
Becky,
help
but it'll probably be
raise.
It'll probably be
We'll
Bella.
talk more about that, obviously, when we talk about Backlash, which I think is going to be on next Monday's show.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
because it's the 11th, and next Monday's already
That's crazy.
Labor Day. Yeah,
I feel
so
like
it'll be-
SummerSlam was last week.
Yeah, it was.
Hey,
It's a quick turnaround to put
We're
stuff
on Labor
together.
Day, right?
Labor
Yes,
Day is
we
next
are gonna be
Monday.
on
Yes, we'll be
Labor Day
here.
is when I'm gonna be having a special treat for the fans.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, good.
I'll be in studio with Paul next Labor Day, so look forward to that. I already told Anthony and Paul what's going on. I think it's a treat for the fans. What do you think? It's something different.
Yes, I think it'll be a treat nonetheless when he does do it. I'm very surprised to see he's going through with it, but you know what? He's a man of his word. So
Paul's gonna have to help
I
me.
admire
I
it.
hope Paul had steady things in what he has to do to help me with it.
Yeah, I think he could do it. So
It's gonna be awesome for the fans. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be something that we've never done before on this episode, on this podcast at all, and it's gonna be for the 20th episode. So what better way to celebrate, right?
That's right.
that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That is very fair.
I think it's gonna do it for us.
Yeah, Is there anything else we missed that might be talked about on Raw or Smack? Well, tonight on Raw we got the Universal title. Do you think that they build up this Bayley and Charlotte feud more?
Of
Or
course,
maybe-
why not? We didn't
You
get to
think
see it.
that's-
We didn't get to see it in NXT because they were both faces. So why not?
Okay.
By the way, Dana Brooke needs to just go away. She needs to go away. I don't care what you do with her. Send her away. She's useless. There's no reason for her to be there.
Dang,
Just
he's just
send her away.
he wants everyone gone. Dana,
Send
Brock.
her away. Put her back
I
to
wanna
NXT. I don't care. Send
There's
her
probably
away.
more people he wants to get rid of too.
Send
I'm
her-
sure.
Send her away. It was better when God, Emma was there. It was better with that.
Oh well, Emma's awesome. Number one, so don't even do that.
No, I said it was
Emma's
better
awesome.
if her and Charlotte were together. Dana just needs to go away.
I gotcha.
Go away.
Oh no! Look at this. Don't do that. This guy's gonna start using it on the show.
That's
Well, like Matt said, we'll talk more about Takeover next week. Very interested and intrigued to see how this Universal title breaks down. I know I was kind of flip-flopping on who I was going to go with, but I think Matt and I both agreed on Kevin Owens walking out as Universal Champion.
very nice.
Thank you, Bojo, for
Is
that.
he done? I didn't want to watch. I had to see if he was done. So, Paul, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Excellent. Well, thanks everyone for watching, for streaming. If you're watching on Facebook, give us comments. Let us know how we did. Post your questions if you're watching on YouTube. Join in on the chat every week. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for everybody in the chat room today. Thank you so much. Continue the support. We absolutely love it. So you can follow us on Facebook / Off the Top Turnbuckle. Twitter is at OT3 Podcast 1, and you can send us emails at ot3podcast@gmail.com. Yeah, I can't wait till next week. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
sorry
real
to cut
quick,
you.
on the Twitter, I have a poll going to see who's going to win the title night between Roman, Rollins, Owens, and Cass. So if you're watching, please go out and vote.
Yeah. Paul, did we cut you off there? I didn't want to cut you short there.
No, you're good. I just don't know why the
All right.
the music sounds like that. Doesn't that sound weird?
No, it sounds fine to me on my end at least.
Okay.
But before we let you go tonight, this going forward, we should be pretty clear on Monday nights. I know for the next 2 weeks, barring any kind of last, second things. One last thing I know Matt wanted to mention was in the wrestling world, something that happened yesterday. Matt, did you want to talk about that real quick?
Mr. Fuji, Hall of Famer, passed away. Great manager. Anytime you see someone throw salt in someone's eye, that's how you think. That's what you think of. So prayers out to him and to his family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was reading actually a story about him. Supposedly he used to pull a lot of ribs backstage on people, and they would just know that was the way Mr. Fuji was. So definitely a legend lost in the WWE and wrestling world. So condolences, like Matt said, out to everyone, his family and anyone else that was a big fan of his. But we'll end it with, I will say, next week we'll be back again on Labor Day. We will talk NXT TakeOver since we didn't get to talk it tonight. We'll talk about who the second Universal Champion is. You happy, Matt? I said second, not first, since Finn had to vacate the title. And we'll talk more SmackDown, and we will talk the lead-in to Backlash, since it'll be the last SmackDown before Backlash takes place on Sunday. One other huge thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Shipe Sports Talk Show. That will be on Tuesday night this week. With college football coming back, they're going to preview all the big games on Saturday that'll be coming up this week for college football. There's some good ones coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then you will see us again on Monday, like I said, talking about ours.
And you'll see us also together next Tuesday.
And then, exactly, Monday you'll see us here on OT3, and then OT3 will also be showing up on Tuesday when we have our big draft. We're going to have our big fantasy football draft that will take place live as we're doing the podcast. So we'll be talking about the NFL season, and also you'll be seeing our picks be made as we're talking to you guys live next Tuesday. So tomorrow night, Shipe Sports Talk. Monday night, OT3 again. And then the following night again on Tuesday again will be Shipe Sports Talk. And, of course, every Wednesday, my man Paul has got his show.
Right on.
Paul, what's it called, Paul? Tell the fans.
It's the Crazy Talk podcast with the K. So crazytalk.com, everything on all the socials. It's all Crazy Talk with the K.
So as you can see, Paul keeps a very, very full plate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday every week with his own podcast, and then helping us be an awesome producer here on Mondays and Tuesday nights. And like I said, next week you will see me on both, as well as Matt and Paul. And then this week, don't forget to check out on tomorrow night, you'll see the Shipe Sports Talk to preview week 1 of college football. So with that being said, I don't really have anything else, Matt. If we missed anything, like I said, I know this is a little abbreviated, and we had that little issue. Thank you for sticking with us with the little hiccup we had in the beginning there with the
about
audio.
that, Paul, are you gonna when you edit the video, you're gonna be able to cut that out of the YouTube, or is this gonna be there so fans will know if they have to
I can cut it out. I mean, I'll just shorten it up a little bit. For 1 second.
What happened?
He's gonna fix it. He said for when it goes on YouTube. Right. So
Best
with that,
business.
Yeah, with that being said, we will call it a night.
All right.
Go enjoy Raw. It's a little before 8, so this way you can actually get there on time. You don't have to miss what's going on, to start Monday Night Raw. And then SmackDown on Tuesday, and we will see you again Monday, Shipe Sports Talk, tomorrow night. You guys have a great night. Thanks for watching again. Next week, episode 20.
See ya.
See ya.